Ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
So I said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Coming through this morning for just a few minutes. Don't know if you've heard, but there was another aircraft that crashed and exploded, actually, as it was landing in the country of Mali in West Africa. The plane that landed halfway down the runway and proceeded to land, then explode, then crash and explode, belonged to Wagner. We're all familiar with Wagner. Wagner is known as a mercenary group, a Russian mercenary group, private military service, so to speak, that was ran by Yevgeny Prigozhin, who was killed in a plane crash not too long ago, just weeks ago. His aircraft appeared to just fall out of the sky. But, there's been a stranglehold on West Africa, on several African countries, period, by the Wagner Group. We're talking about brutal murders, plots, rapes, okay? People are running absolutely in fear of this group, this private military group that walks around with no insignia on, no badges, no nothing to identify themselves, but yet they're the only, white folks walking around through those parts of Mali, okay? But they've been causing a lot of terror for years in Africa. Well, again, as a plane was beginning to land in the West African state of Mali, this Wagner plane was trying to land. It's almost as if it couldn't. Check this out. This is the plane in Mali. This just happened. This is the plane that crashed. My understanding is there's approximately 140 souls on board, all linked to Wagner. Okay? The plane lands on the runway, as you can see. The question is, why didn't the plane stop? Proceeds to go off the runway, goes over a little cliff face, and explodes. Now, the question again is, why didn't the plane stop? I think if we're to ask that, we would have to ask, could the plane stop? Some have theorized that it's possible that this plane could have been compromised in some way. And I've heard a lot of talk about flaps. Were they able to put the flaps down? All kinds of stuff. And then I've heard interesting things. For example, that a variety of different planes have been compromised in some form. They were going to get Prigozhin one way or the other. Who knows what plane he was going to choose to fly on, right? We don't know. But it's very, very, very strange, to say the least. Again, this is the second Wagner aircraft. This one didn't fall out the sky, but I mean, it managed to get out of the sky. I think the real question here is, why didn't the plane stop? Could it stop? I think the communications between the pilots and aircraft control are going to be pretty important here. Incredible. Let me show you all this. I thought I was sharing it. Let me go back here. So the plane hits the runway, touches down. I think that whole, Wagner group has become nothing but bad luck. It's bad luck, and I wouldn't want to be working for them, that's for sure. Not in any capacity. I don't want to take any of their private planes. None of that. Because 2 of their private planes have now went down in less than a few weeks. They're either cursed or... guys, it comes down to this, in my opinion. Wagner did a lot of horrible things. As a group, individuals that have been a part of this private military that takes in, people apply to work for this company all over the world. Former special ops folks, people that have been in various different branches of military service, including the United States. It's insane. Could you just think to yourself for a second that there are Americans that have actually turned coat and went to work for this company, this Russian private military service? Very scary times. Very scary times. We know that Yevgeny Prigozhin just died in a plane crash, the leader of Wagner. His funeral was so top secret. There were well-known journalists who were misled. Disinformation practices were being deployed. They were being misled to places where they thought that his funeral was being held. Turns out his funeral wasn't being held there at all. Very strange stuff going on from Russia, but always the case when it comes to Russia. I just thought this was very interesting. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to come through for a moment and let you all know about this. What happened to this plane? Why couldn't it stop when it landed on that runway? Will this be a situation of pilot error? Or was there some reason why this plane did not seem to be able to stop on the runway? It proceeded to go off a cliff and then explode. All right, guys, I am out of here. I will catch you guys when I catch you guys. Until next time, everyone. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart, like really, really, really smart. Like